welcome back here to another edition of Coach's Corner. Chase the Horseman Horsley here alongside with Coach Liz Lewis, the head women's basketball coach here of your Pronghorns. And Coach, I mean, you guys rocking a little bit of a, I'd say a win streak, but back to winning that one game. You're 17-8 so far this season. I mean, what are you seeing so far?
Well, I've seen a little bit more consistency. That's something that we talk about is having consistency over perfection. That we need, more consistent defensive stops, more consistent offensive transition, and just overall more consistent performances from everyone. So it's still, there's still moments where we miss that a little bit, but that's something I think we've gotten better at over the entire season is our consistency, not only individual performances, but also as a team.
Yeah, and I've definitely kind of noticed it because, at the very beginning, there was, off and on team chemistry things, and now it looks like on the court, everything is getting put together.
Yeah, and that's why, we have those 18 preseason games, and, we talk about that's what those are for, is to learn to not only, like I said, perform individually because it's different from the high school to the college level, but also to perform as a team and find those consistent things that'll help us hopefully in the tournament.
Being 5-2 right now in conference play, you guys get a Casper team that is always crazy.
They're tough, man.
They are always so good. When you look at this Casper team that's coming in town, what do you guys need to do to kind of disrupt their momentum?
Yeah, and that's the thing is Casper's just, they're always so disciplined and they always play great defense, and they're very well coached. Nate's doing an excellent job with them, and they just, it's going to be a tough night for sure, but we've got to do what we do and execute our offense and execute our defensive plan and hopefully come out on top.
Free throws. It's always a thing on free throws because first half of the last game, free throws were looking pretty good, making them, missing them, making them. Me and Thomas were both saying, man, they'd be up by 20 if they would just make their free throws in this case. But when you look at that and then you look at how many trips you've been able to get to the line, what are the biggest things that you kind of take away from that?
We talk about consistency, and that's definitely something that we lack is our free throw percentage.
Yeah.
I think the couple games before we shot somewhere in the 80s, and then we came out against Western Wyoming and shot 50%. So that's an area that we've got to get better at, is that consistency of shooting that higher percentage. So, and that's an area where at the beginning of the year, we really struggled with our free throw percentage. It was really low. We weren't hitting free throws, and then it's definitely gotten better. But for some reason in the last game, we just didn't knock them down. A lot of free throw percentage, I believe, is a focus thing, is stepping up into the line and focus and shoot the same shot that you've been shooting since you were a kid and shot, thousands of reps of. And so, being able to make free throws when you're tired, being able to make them when there's a little bit of pressure on the line, that's something that we got to continue to get better.
And free throws, it kind of feels like that's like one of the hardest shots, honestly. Just because you're just sitting here, you're at the line, it's just like there's so much pressure.
Yes,
it's like
there is.
you got to make these two shots. There's no one guarding you. It's just like it's the easiest shot, but it's the hardest shot.
But it's the hardest one, and just knock them down. And so we work, you'd think that we don't practice them, but we do. We do. We practice them a lot. Sometimes you would think that
That's what everyone says.
Sometimes you see in our percentages, you'd be like, oh, do they ever shoot a free throw? But we do. We have, in practice, we have to shoot them, and there's, consequences for misses and things like that. And so it's just it's something that we definitely need to start nailing down here towards the end of the season.
We'll move to rebounding because right now you guys average around 42.8 a game, which is, 33rd in overall of the NJCAA. So when you look at those numbers in the rebounding category with Rochelle Famanuma that was sitting there, I know with Addison Bain being out, that was a big hurt. How do you think that's kind of been moving? Do you think Rochelle's been doing a better job of it? Have you seen Lena do well with it? What are you kind of seeing in?
Lena, she's 14th in our conference right now in rebounding at 5'3", and so
that's crazy.
And so I talk to all my guards, like rebounding has nothing to do with size. It has nothing to do with even athleticism. It has to do with flat out will and determination to go get it. But we've got, Key's a phenomenal rebounder. Key, she had 18 in the last game against Western Wyoming, and she's I think she's second in the conference right now in rebounding, and Rochelle's third. So we've got some girls that are getting after it. But rebounding is something that it's something that we harp on constantly, is rebounding and talking to everyone needs to contribute on the boards. And, you can't play 30 minutes a game and only have one rebound. Like, you got to contribute on the boards and you got to get it done. And I think a big thing, too, that we've got to learn, too, is you can't allow how you're performing to affect things like rebounding. Rebounding something that every night shouldn't be like shooting. Your shooting is going to be on off, like that's part of the game. But rebounding, effort, defense, things like that shouldn't matter, and you can't allow outside circumstances to affect your willingness to go get the boards and your willingness to get defensive stops.
You know, you mentioned Lena. I mean, 137 total rebounds, 100 of those defensive. That's crazy.
Yeah, she's
like, that's insane.
She's kind of she's gotten nicknamed Mighty Mouse is what she's gotten nicknamed.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I don't know how much if she likes it or not, but that's the nickname that people around here has given her is Little Mighty Mouse because she just has a motor that doesn't quit and she just gets after it and she just battles every single game.
You know, looking at the numbers, you know, as you mentioned, Kiara, she had 233. Rochelle's at 208. I mean, you got 3 of the best rebounders in the conference. I mean, as you said, all sitting in the top 10 around that part, or top 25. So Lena's at 14th. Yeah. But in the case of offensive rebounds, trying to get those extra possessions, how do you think that's been kind of transpiring to, you know, the defensive boards? Because offensively, it kind of feels like sometimes you get quite a bit of bonus possessions. You get 3 or 4 times where you're getting the rebounds, and other times it's like, oh, hey, no, we just kind of forget to do the board.
Yeah, and forget might be a great word for it because offensive board, you know, it's all about just having the discipline to crash every single time, is to watch the flight of the ball and anticipate where it's going to go and then just have the discipline to go get it every single time. And so I think sometimes we get a little bit lackadaisical, which drives me crazy, but we get a little lackadaisical in our offensive boards and getting after it and going and getting it because and that's the thing, it's every rebound's a 50-50 ball. It's up in the air, it's anybody's. I think some of the hardest players to box out are sprint rebounders, those who just sprint after it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, offensively, like think about that. What is the type of player you hate boxing out? Become that player and go get the rebound.
Yeah. Mine would be definitely 6 foot tall.
For both of us, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I play pickup basketball and I play every Monday, Wednesday night, and I cannot get a rebound to save my life when you got like 6'8" something, like tall, big old adult man.
Yep.
Man, it's hard.
Yeah, but it's physical too.
It is very physical, but it's always a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So we mentioned points per game a little bit, and right now you guys are sitting 9th in that realm as well, which that's actually looks like one of the highest, you know, point spots that you guys have been in, you know, throughout the program and stuff. You guys are putting up big numbers, 170, 90s. I mean, like you're getting up to those big numbers.
Yeah, offensively, and that's just the idea that we want to have is obviously you want to outscore the other team. And so offensively we want to push it in transition and look for opportunities. And we've got, I think we got a decent balance between our outside shooting and our inside game. I mean, inside we've got girls that can score, but then we've also got girls that can knock down shots outside. But it's you know, it's definitely changed. The game of basketball has definitely changed with the 3-point shot and how much kids want to shoot that 3 more than anything. And even teams we play against, they just, I mean, heck, Central made 15 threes against us, which, you know, back when I played, that was not heard of. You know, you'd make around 7 or 8 threes, you know. But it's crazy how much the game has changed. But we want to definitely keep pushing the tempo and control the tempo and control the pace of the game. And so it's something that we work on. So
to be effective and really scoring quite a bit, do you think the 3-pointer is the way to go nowadays? Do you think it's what type of percentage of shot do you guys think you guys have to shoot to make sure that, hey, we can be one step ahead? You know, my coach always told me, I'm going to age myself a little bit here, but my coach always told me that you can't live and die by the 3 because eventually you'll die. And so if that's the only part of your game that you have is just shooting 3s, then eventually there's going to be a night where you don't hit. And so you got to be able to score inside too, and you got to be able to score. I think the mid-range, it's coming to the JUCO world a little bit more. Kids being able to hit that mid-range consistently. Definitely as the higher levels go up, you know, they're bigger threats when they can score from all 3 levels, from a 3, mid-range, and inside too. And so we got to be able to have a balance within our team. And again, our effort and our attitudes and the way that we play shouldn't be dictated by whether or not we're hitting shots. Like, that shouldn't change. Every night we got to battle and we got to give our full effort no matter what. So we've got to be able to score from, in my opinion, all 3 levels. So you guys head out to Powell on Saturday, going to be taking on Northwest. Yes. And that's going to be another big battle.
That is.
I mean,
Yep.
as you've said, this is probably some of the best Region 9 teams we've seen in a hot minute.
It is, and it's awesome, and it's fun. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that it's fun because it's so competitive. But yeah, Northwest has a bye this week. They have a bye on Wednesday, and so they'll be having all week to prepare for us. And we got to get on the bus on Friday and head up there and definitely have to battle because it's tough to play at their place.
And you guys get your bye next Wednesday.
Yes, after that.
And
one,
then going into on the road once again on that Saturday. So these road games, I mean, you've had a few home games, but now you're back on the road. You know, you'll get a home game tomorrow, but then back on the road. I mean, what does that do to the team chemistry? Does it kind of build it up a little bit more? You know,
I think
traveling?
so. I think road trips do. I think when the girls get to, they stay together and we get to go eat together and things like that, I think it definitely helps the team chemistry. And it hasn't been too bad this year because the weather's been absolutely beautiful. And
yeah.
so hopefully it keeps that way for the next
Knock on
couple of weeks.
wood.
Yeah. For the next couple of weeks, hopefully it keeps that way so that, the travel hasn't been too bad this year.
No, that's great. This weather has been insane.
It's been awesome.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, it
but
is.
it's like, back home, it's, it's snowing there. And then here it's like, oh, hey, we're just kind of enjoying weather today,
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, all right, getting to the final few questions here. What would be the biggest keys this weekend to making sure you guys pull through and play as a team and continue on to try to get up to that top spot in conference?
I think the biggest thing, we got to continue to stay focused on the game that is now. We can't get too far ahead of us, can't be worrying about, the tournament or anything like that. We got to focus on getting better each and every day. And that's a conversation we have every day, is that today's the day that we get better and that we continue to move forward. And we have to, again, continue to be offensive threats, but also get defensive stops. And we've got great leadership on the team. They're doing an excellent job talking to the girls and making sure everybody stays engaged. Because we have such a long season, making sure everybody stays engaged and everything we've been working towards, since October, it's coming down to that. So, but Casper's tough though.
Yeah.
We got to really focus on. They've got a great little point guard. She's a phenomenal player. So we've got to do a good job containing her. But they've got some inside game too. I think Casper's a really well-rounded, strong team.
All right, my last question. This one's kind of pointed at the fans. So I'm kind of curious on your thoughts because so far right now, Janie, the athletic director here, she has done a fantastic job with all of the extra things that are on the court, halftime shots, all the different games and everything. What have you seen so far from a fan perspective? I know you're coaching, you're doing all that, but you get to watch the boys' game and you get to see all the fun things. But what are you seeing from that?
I think it's a fun environment. I really do. I think it's a fun environment to play in. It's a fun environment to coach in. I know as a student athlete, I would have loved coming to the games and supporting your fellow students and the giveaways and things like that. Like
I think somebody won a TV.
Yeah, it's just so much different than when I went to school.
I'm like, me and Thomas were sitting up at the booth, and I was just like, I want to win a TV.
You should hustle down there and go
it's
sit
like,
for a little while.
can I go sit down there?
No kidding. Like it's just
I'll call the game from down there.
Make a half-court shot. Like it's just a fun environment.
Yeah.
It really is, and it just I think we have the greatest fans in the whole JUCO world. I really do. We get a lot of support from not just our community, but we're trying to get a few more student athletes there to get a little bit of a student section. But it's just like I said, there's no better place to play than the Pronghorn Center.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining me here on Coach's Corner.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, we will wrap this thing up here with Coach's Corner. Remember, each and every home game here is on the Pronghorn Athletics YouTube page. So we'll be back live tomorrow. Thomas Bush and I will be on the call for that one against Casper College. Then they'll be on the road in Powell. Get the Wednesday off the following week, and then right back on it. So make sure you check out every Coach's Corner here on the Pronghorn Athletics YouTube. From Chase the Horseman Horsley to Coach Liz Lewis, we will see y'all next time.